Shohei Ohtani continues to dominate on both sides of the ball and looks like a lock for his third straight MVP. But while he's untouchable, the Dodgers bullpen has been the exact opposite. Historically bad.
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's time for Locked On Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Shohei Ohtani showed why he's once again the most valuable player in baseball. The Dodgers bullpen is rewriting history for all the wrong reasons, and a new era of umpiring is coming soon with the ABS challenge system. That and more in today's episode, which is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. Travis, we go from the high of having Shohei Ohtani on the mound for 6 innings to then the low of having the bullpen out there for however long they're out there.
Yeah, I've gone from optimistic about the postseason, Harry, to hopeful, because that's about all you got, is that you hope it turns around for those guys in the bullpen. But we're not seeing any indication that it's going to. It was just a disaster over the last few innings.
I'm hopeful the Dodgers use your strategy you shared yesterday. And they don't
have no other choice.
Yeah, I'm hopeful they don't use the bullpen in the postseason.
Yeah.
He's Travis Rodgers. I'm Harry Ruiz, two guys who talk sports for a living and bleed Dodger Blue for life. You can get more Travis on 710 ESPN LA or the ESPN LA app from 3 to 6 p.m. with the Travis and DeMarco Show. As for me, I'm the Spanish play-by-play broadcaster for the USD Football Trojans and the Las Vegas Raiders. But nothing beats jumping on the mic every weekday morning and diving deep into what I love most, talking Dodger baseball with you. And we want you to be a part of our show. Hit us up on the Locked On Dodgers listener line, 279-3-LOCKED or 279-356-2533. You can either leave us a voicemail or a text, and you might be featured in our show. Leading off, scoreboard watching time. The Padres blanked the Brewers 7-0. The Dodgers, they blew a 4-0 lead and lost 5-4, so the divisional lead for LA is 1.5 games. San Diego has 4 games left. Los Angeles, 5. That's something where I don't want to be stressing about this in the final week, Travis.
Yeah, not only did they blow a 4-run lead, Harry, which is accurate, but I think that they blew a 4-run lead in the 7th inning. It wasn't like they had a 4-0. It was about as ugly as it's been in quite some time, and it just really took the wind out of a lot of fan sails. It was rough.
Travis, glass half full, glass half empty. Let's start with the positives. Let's start with the glass half full. Shohei Ohtani being Shohei Ohtani. Tuesday night in Arizona, Sho went 6 scoreless innings. His first time in Dodger Blue going deeper than 5 frames. And he wasn't just good. He was dominant. In his last 4 outings, Travis, Ohtani has allowed a single run. Una. Over 19 2/3 innings. He struck out 27 hitters, walked only 4, and given up just 10 hits. That's just absurd. That's ace-like level pitching from the guy that is your leadoff batter, the guy that is your top slugger, the guy that is second place in the National League in home runs. I mean, that guy is your back-to-back MVP, AL and NL, without touching a baseball with his hand the last 2 seasons. Now he's doing it. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he was as good as you could ever possibly hope to be. I mean, there's nothing else on a baseball field left for this guy to do. He's basically unhittable. I mean, when he's pitching like that, it's a surprise when there's a base hit. Never mind runs. It's genuinely surprising when there's a single ball that's put in play. I mean, I think he had 8 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. He was just mowing guys down. It was extraordinary. And I guess this is kind of funny, but I'm not trying to be funny. Can he go 9? Like, I mean, really, I mean, as great as it was, the second they took him out, and I'm not saying they should have left him in longer. He did exactly what he was supposed to do last night. Like you mentioned, it's the first time he's gone 6 innings, et cetera, et cetera. It's not going to be enough. You can't go to those guys. You just simply can't. There's nobody down there that is getting anybody out. And it's a real drag because, like you said, Harry, there was a lot of positives last night. And you're right. Shohei Ohtani is going to win the MVP again. He's going to win 3 in the last 4 years. He's going to become just the second player in the history of baseball to have 4 or more MVPs. Only Bonds has more, who has 7. And, you know, and on a night that should have been a celebration of his amazing accomplishments, it's a, what the heck is going on out there? And there's just no time left. I mean, we're at the end of the season. There's no way to fix it. There's no hope that it's going to turn around. It's just an awful feeling to watch Shohei's performance get wasted like that.
Yeah, and this comes on the heels of when Ohtani won the MVP unanimously.
Yeah, he's going to win unanimously again, by the way. He's going to do it again.
He won it unanimously last year because he opened the 50-50 club. 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. This year, he launched another 50-50 club. 50 home runs hit, 50 batters struck out from the mound. And I think the only reason why he wouldn't get the MVP is the same reason why Patrick Mahomes hasn't won every MVP pretty much since he debuted. Voter fatigue. It's a real thing. We've seen it in the NBA. We've seen it in the NFL. But I love it that right here, Shohei Ohtani, he's not just like, oh, look, here, I just hit home runs. He added last year the stolen base element because he couldn't pitch. This year, he's back to pitching, and I can say he's pitching better than ever, and that's just his ramp-up stage. Now, can you imagine when he's able to be out there for 7 innings, when he doesn't have to go to or have Dave Roberts go up to him, how you feeling, buddy? And then when he says good, well, it doesn't matter. We're not going to throw you out there anymore. Whenever it's like, how you feeling? Good? All right. Keep going. Keep at it. That's going to be the reason why the Dodgers paid $700 million for him, and not just what happened last year with the Dodgers winning the World Series in year 1 of the Shohei Ohtani experience.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, I hadn't thought of it like this in a while until you just said it. You know, the money that they're paying him, the $700 million, the deferred. But, you know, at the time, it's like, wow, you know, 700. Has any Dodger fan for one single second thought, man, I don't know if we're getting what we're supposed to get? I mean, at $700 million, it's like, yeah, that's a deal, man. He could have gotten twice that much. It's a steal at twice the price. Yeah, I mean, I kind of going back to what you said a second ago about voter for, yeah, that does happen. I mean, there were years where Michael Jordan did not win the MVP in the NBA, and we're like, what the heck is going on out here? Michael Jordan's clearly the best player, but Ohtani is still making us go, wait, what? What did he do? You know, how last night he became the second player in baseball history to have 100 home runs and 100 starts on the mound. The other guy's Babe Ruth. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good company. He's got the 4th lowest batting average against through the first 4 starts of his career. Guys ahead of him are like named Nolan Ryan and things like, I mean, it's just the list of accolades that he keeps stacking on top of it is amazing. I do think he'll win the MVP. I do think he'll win it unanimously. I think that, you know, if I want to say if the Dodgers could win the World Series, that feels incredibly far-fetched at this point, but think about if they even make a playoff run, which I guess is possible, but 2 years, 2 MVPs, a World Series championship, another playoff run, and we are just getting started on that contract. It's already paid for itself. He is the greatest baseball player that I have seen. He's closing in on the greatest sluggers that we've ever seen. Guys like Griffey, guys like Bonds, and he's putting himself in the category of unhittable pitchers. Guys like Pedro Martinez and Roger Clemens, and he's both of those guys. It just doesn't add up.
And look, the only guy that could steal a vote or 2, or maybe a handful of them, is Kyle Schwarber, because he's had a great year, but he hasn't done what Shohei Ohtani has done in 2025. Nobody has. I mean, not even Aaron Judge can go over and be like, okay, it's 1A, 1B. This season has been Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, a vote for Schwarber is a bad vote. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Dodger fan. I'm saying that because it's obvious, right? Like Schwarber and Ohtani's offensive numbers, the only thing that's kind of close is RBIs in Schwarber's favor. And that's because he's got, you know, guys that were on base more for him early in the season. Ohtani scores more runs. They hit basically the same amount of homers. Ohtani gets on base more. Ohtani just, I mean, it's Ohtani across the board. It's not close. I mean, you look at where you are, Harry, in Vegas, the odds for MVP, they're basically off the board because Shohei's going to win it. The last I looked, it was like minus 25,000 for Shohei to win the MVP. It's a deadlock cinch, and any vote that goes to somebody other than Ohtani is a bad choice.
Yeah, Ohtani, he won the MVP in the American League 2021 and 2023, in the National League 2024. That would make him an MVP in 4 out of the last 5 seasons. That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
And in 2 different leagues, in 2 completely different franchises. He did it in a franchise that can't compete for their lives in Anaheim, and he's doing it for a franchise where he's fighting to win World Series championships now in LA. So that, for me, it's not a debate. Shohei Ohtani is going to be the National League MVP in 2025. It would be highway robbery if anyone else thinks the opposite. He's the best hitter. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball now, and he's once again the MVP, in my opinion. We'll have to wait for the votes to come in and make it official, but it's gonna happen. But of course, as great as Ohtani has been, the Dodgers still find themselves in dogfights every single night. And a huge part of that is because the bullpen just can't hold the lead. In fact, the Dodgers bullpen is on pace to be historically bad. Next on Locked On Dodgers, we get to the numbers that prove it.
Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis, and maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Go Long. That's exactly where Rugiet Go Long comes in. This isn't just another ED pill. It is a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula so you can go the distance. It can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. Process is simple. You connect with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. If prescribed, your treatment right there. You don't even need to worry about it. It shows up right at your house. So ready to level up at your confidence in the bedroom? Head to rugiet.com and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use their code so they know that we sent you along. LOCKEDONMLB.com.
There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets? That's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. It takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. The app has made it super simple. I could even see the exact view from my seat before buying. Fees are included. Know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. So if you're going to a game in Arizona or in Seattle this week, go to Gametime. Download the app today. Create an account and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. Don't forget to follow Locked On Dodgers not only on YouTube, but on X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. You can find Travis on social media at Travis Rodgers on X and Instagram. Meanwhile, I'm at Harry Ruiz on X, at Harry_Ruiz on Instagram, and at Harry Ruiz_ on TikTok. All right. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. The Dodgers bullpen is breaking records in 2025, but in the worst way possible. Tanner Scott blew his 10th save of the season this week, the most in Major League Baseball. I shared a short yesterday, Travis, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, stating Travis from 2017 all the way to, Tanner, from 2017 through 2024, he blew 20 saves total. Yeah. In one season, in less than 162 games with the Dodgers, he already has half of that number, 10. It was another game where the Dodgers had a 4-0 lead in the 7th and still managed to lose. That's the kind of collapse that takes years off of fans' lives right here. And also, it decreases your chances of making fans confident that you can go and win the World Series.
I mean, where do you want to start? I mean, this was, like you said, it's the 10th blown save. I'd like to add, so far they've got 5 games left, and who knows how much more damage Tanner Scott can do to this team. I'll be honest, and look, I'm going to be an amateur psychologist here for a second, okay? I do not have a degree in psychology, so take this for what it's worth.
The Dave Rodgers therapy session right here.
Exactly. Dave Roberts looked like he was going to throw up in the dugout last night. He looked sick. He looked like he was absolutely sick as this was unfolding. And you can tell he has no confidence in Tanner Scott. Zero. And then you cut to Tanner Scott, who's on the mound. And I don't say this to pile on the guy. I actually have sympathy for him. I feel bad for any athlete that just can't figure out the thing that they used to do so well, and now it's just gone. Harry, he's broken. He's just broken. You can see it on his face that somebody who you just said had those incredible numbers, that was so good that the Dodgers forked out, $70 million to bring him in over 4 years. And he hasn't been bad. He's been awful. And he knows it, and you can feel it coming, that they're trying to give him outs, and he still can't throw the ball over the plate. The outs that he's getting are fly balls to the warning track. There was no doubt that he was going to give up a hit right there, and it's not just him. Edgardo Henriquez comes in and gives up a big hit. That the entire Dodger bullpen, maybe with the exception of Ezia, has been horrible. Not just bad, horrible, to the point where they're virtually unusable. And the confidence that we were hoping is going to come back, I just don't think there's enough time. Even if you pitched reasonably well over the last week or so, all of this stuff is just much too present, much too recent, and I don't think that you can shake it off. And then, again, this is me just kind of reading tea leaves here. It's not just Harry Ruiz or Travis Rodgers or Dodger fans. If you watch the Dodger postgame show last night, Jerry Hairston, who's about the most positive Dodger fan that you're going to run into, he was just lost. Oral Hershiser used the word meatballs on the postgame show last night. The guys that are as loyal and dialed in, you can tell that the frustrations have boiled over for them. And so I don't know what Dave, what's weird about it to me, and I know I'm rambling here a little bit, but this is why it's so frustrating, is that this isn't a Dave Roberts, what are you doing? He has no options. It's not like, why do you keep going back? Who else? No, it doesn't matter who comes in. They're all going to do the same thing. And it's just deeply, deeply frustrating. And I guess anything can happen. And I guess that's what we got to hang our hats on as Dodger fans at this point, that anything can happen. But there is no way they're going to win 4 series in a row with that bullpen. And maybe you can win 4 series in a row by never using it. I guess that's a better chance. Roki Sasaki is on this team in the postseason. He has to be. He absolutely has to be.
There's no other choice right now.
There's no other choice. So it was, if there's one single solitary positive that came out of last night, and there might not be, but if there is one, it's that it was a clarifying moment of, okay, we can't do this. Like at a point, it's like, we just can't do this anymore. We're going to have to lean. Starting pitchers are going to have to go 7-8 innings. And then whoever pitches the 8th or the 9th inning, it's going to have to be another starting pitcher that comes in and finishes the game, because no one else can get anybody out.
And Travis, here's the deal. You said there was no other options. They literally had Clayton Kershaw in the bullpen. I know that they didn't want to burn him to yesterday, Tuesday night. Then when?
Yeah.
I might as well.
Yeah, and get him used to coming out of the bullpen, because that's going to be his role in the postseason. Those are the outs that he's going to. And you know, Harry, look, he may give up hits. He may give it up. But here's what I know he's not going to do: walk people. Here's what I know he's not going to do: hit guys. Here's what I know he's not going to do: wet down his leg, because he's just completely lost his mojo and completely lost his confidence. And that's what those guys in the pen have done. I think you can use Vesia. I think he's probably the only one that you feel reasonably good about, but just about
the walk too.
I know. And again, I'm being a little gracious with him. He hasn't been particularly great either, but yeah, there are no good options. Starting pitchers will need to go 7 innings, and then the next starting pitcher will need to finish off the game, because there are no other choices.
Here's the scary part, Travis. It's not just Scott. The entire Dodgers bullpen has piled up 26 blown saves this year. 26 For perspective, if you flip half of those around, the Dodgers would have the best record in all of baseball right now. Instead, they're stuck grinding out wins and letting other teams hang around. I literally had a tweet ready to go out and being like, hey, we took care of business against the Giants and killed their playoff hopes, and now we're doing the same against the D-backs. And no, now the D-backs, they're right there, right behind the Mets, right behind the Reds. They might end up being a wild card team as well. And look at the earned runs. They tell a story too. The Dodgers bullpen has allowed 304 earned runs this season. That's a franchise record. Every time they go on the mound, it feels like they've turned a corner. Then they find a way to implode, because even Tanner Scott, look at his last 4 performances. That was what everybody was talking about before last night. He hadn't allowed a run, but then in the most crucial moments, he comes in and he blows it. And then there were times that he gets on the mound with 5-run leads, with 6-run leads, and it's a completely different monster.
That's the scariest part. It's that with a 5 or a 6-run lead, it's still not a 1-2-3, 3 up, 3 down. It's still a runner here, a hit here, a run there. With anything less than a 6 or 7-run lead, the game is in jeopardy when it's in his hands. And I was just trying to find a Instagram post on my phone there saying, no, I misplaced it. I can't find it. The Dodgers have the 3rd most blown saves in baseball. And of the top 10, only 2 of them are playoff teams, the Yankees being the other one. And it just won't work. They're gonna have to get very lucky. Something very weird is gonna have to happen, or Emmett Sheehan is gonna pitch in every game in the back end of the bullpen. And it was a very clarifying moment last night. I'm not even sure Tanner Scott makes the team anymore. I think you try almost anybody else at this point. That I've been saying it for the last 2 months. He's going to be a part of it. He's going to be a part of it. He's going to have to be a part of it. I don't think you can do it anymore. I just really don't, because he's busted, Harry. You can see it on his face. He's busted. He's broken. He has no confidence to speak of whatsoever. And when that happens, that's a wrap. You can't use him anymore.
Honestly, I'd be good if the Dodgers go into the postseason and right when the wild card's about to start, we see their roster and they have 24 players instead of 26. And it's like, yeah, we didn't want to put Kirby Yates or Tanner Scott. We're good. We'll roll with 11 pitchers instead of 13.
Will Klein has to be on this team now for no other reason than he pitched well this week or last week. I get it. He's not the answer to all these problems, but he's at least you got a chance with, well, let me put it this way, a better chance than you do with Tanner Scott, because 0 chances is 0 chance.
He's not the answer, but he's not the problem, which Tanner Scott right now, he is. Every time he goes out there.
Anybody other than what they're doing right now.
Any pitcher that has a pulse in the minor leagues and has a contract with the Dodgers organization, have him in there instead of Tanner Scott right now, because it's not sustainable. This team is too talented in the lineup, too strong in the rotation to let the bullpen just undo it all. But right now, that's exactly what's happening.
There, and you can't do this in the playoffs, but unless they win games, by scoring 9 or 10 runs, they're not going to. It's not going to happen. They had a good game last night. Ohtani was lights out. Rortvedt hits a home run. Teoscar coming to life at exactly the right time, and then that. And it is what it is. I hate that expression, but it is what it is. And they have no solutions to this problem. There's just not time. It's September 24th, and the playoffs start in 6 days.
Crazy, in less than a week. Now, speaking of undoing things, Major League Baseball is finally undoing one of its worst traditions, terrible umpiring. Coming up on Locked On Dodgers, the ABS challenge system is officially arriving in 2026.
The NFL season is underway. Heck yeah, it is. We're already into week 4, and FanDuel is making sure that you're ready for every kickoff with a can't-miss offer, because right now, new customers to FanDuel, all you have to do is bet $5. And if that $5 bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app however you like to bet, right? That's what makes one of the best parts about FanDuel, is that it fits however you like to play. Player props, FanDuel's got them. You want to build a same-game parlay? FanDuel's got them. You want to jump in live as the action unfolds, a little live betting lines? Absolutely, FanDuel's got that. It makes every game more exciting. Whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup, FanDuel's got you covered. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the best way to add just that little something else to your Sunday afternoons. And oh, by the way, baseball playoffs coming up too. Nothing quite like that. FanDuel adds excitement to that as too. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
Thanks for making us your first listen wherever you may be tuning in, either on your favorite podcast app or our YouTube channel. Subscribe, smash that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Full episodes, hot takes, breaking Dodgers news, and the Dodgers Postcast Show with Pete Fox live after the final out of every game. If it drops, you're on it. That's how you become an everydayer here on Locked On Dodgers. Yes, it's real. Upon further review, the ABS challenge system has been approved for the 2026 Major League Baseball season. The Joint Competition Committee voted Tuesday to bring it to the big leagues after years of minor league experiments and spring training tests. And what this system does is simple. It gives teams the ability to challenge ball and strike calls quickly and efficiently. I'm very excited about this because that means the days of Alfonso Marquez, CV Buckner, Las Diaz deciding outcomes in baseball. I'm sorry to call them out, but Angel Hernandez, you're not on the list because you're already retired. But man, I'm so glad that I won't have to remember names of umpires anymore because they'll just be pretty much useless behind home plate because we could literally just have that APS system call the whole game.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you know the names of any good umpires?
No,
nobody does. That's the way it makes them a good umpire. The only reason we know these guys' names, or Jen Powell, I think that's how you say her, she's awful too. And the reason we know her name because she stinks at her job. That this is the only bad part about this, Harry, is that it took this long. Everything else is thumbs up from me. This is a no-brainer. I like the challenge system. It doesn't slow down the game. There's no arguing. It's either in the box or it's not. It either hit the line or it didn't. It happens really quickly. They're going to put it up on the scoreboard. It's only a couple of challenges. If you get them right, you get to keep them. Everything about this to me is a no-brainer. I'm glad that they did it. I think it'll remove a lot of the umpire egos that exist. And baseball's done a better job of removing a lot of that. Your Joe Wests and John McSherrys and those guys have been gone for some time now. But it's time. We have the technology. Let's use it. And it speeds up the game. It makes the game better. We'll have less, belly aching about this kind of stuff. Long overdue, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and right now, it's the middle ground of full-on robot umps and the human error that we've all come to know and hate in Major League Baseball. And we saw it in spring training. We saw it in the All-Star game. There's sometimes some obvious calls where you're like, how the heck do you miss that? But it's a hard job to do.
It is.
And now that with technology, you just have to take advantage of it. But also, I understand.
That's it, right? So the first of all, you don't even have to go back to the, black and white TV era. You can go back to the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s where there might be 2 or 3 guys in the whole league that throw 100 miles an hour. They all throw 100 miles an hour right now. They all get the ball to move, 4 feet in every single direction. It's virtually an impossible job for a human being to do. That they get as many right as they do, I think, is a testament to them being pretty good at it. But it's too hard. So the speed of the pitches has exceeded our ability to judge them as they're coming in. And we have the technology to know whether it's right or not. In the 70s, in a bang play, we're like, yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe you got it right. It looked like you missed it, but you were never really sure. Well, now we're sure instantly. We know right away whether or not a guy is safe or out. We know right away whether or not the ball was over the plate or not. We have these TVs, high-speed cameras, all of this stuff that the MLB analytics, we know. Let's use it. And if I was an umpire, I'd want to use it. Like, let's take me kind of guessing at a 99-mile-an-hour slider. Did it just barely clip the corner of the plate or not? I don't know. Let's have the computer do it. The computer knows.
And the best part here is that you're going to also avoid players getting ejected from them complaining to umpires. Hey, that was a strike. Just tap your helmet. They'll review it. If it was a strike, if it wasn't a strike, they'll get it right.
Can I give you one scenario that I think could get interesting? That some of these pitches that are really close, right? Let's say a batter challenges it, or the pitcher, it almost doesn't even matter who's making the challenge. And it turns out the umpire was right. Okay. You lose the challenge. Let's say you challenge again. Let's say the umpire was right again. And now you're out of challenges. Now the umpire can exercise his vendetta. Now the umpire can go, well, here's my zone today. You didn't like it before, and I was right. Now watch this. And if you don't think they'll do that, you haven't been watching a lot of baseball, right? Because umpires are vindictive. They carry grudges. They have egos. And there's still a scenario where if they get a couple right early, they can throw their shoulders back and well, watch me now, sucker. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do it.
You have to be very sure that you're doing the right call when you're making that challenge. Look at these numbers. Success rate in spring training, 52%. The catchers, they were the best. 56 success rate, 56%. Hitters got it right half the time, and the pitchers were correct 41% of time. So that's pretty much a coin flip, a toss-up, where it's like you might have it right, you might not have it right, and those close calls, sometimes they'll go your way, sometimes they won't.
I'll tell you what, and your numbers are spot on, and I think that's a huge part of it. If I were a manager of a team, I would only let my catchers make the challenge, because the hitters, in order of people that I think have the best view of it, the catcher has the best view by a mile. I think that's why it speaks to their success rate. I think the hitters are second best. They know the batter, or I should say the pitcher's 60 feet away, say and they're bent over on one leg. Their view of it is not nearly as good as the other ones. And I think the numbers reflect it. If I were a catcher, or if I were a manager, I should say, I would bring everybody together and say, guys, there's one person on this team that gets to challenge balls and strikes, and it's the catcher. That's it. Everybody else, if it's late in the innings and we haven't used it, then maybe we can open that window up a little bit. But until we get to must-have it time, only the catcher gets to do it, because I think they're going to be right at a much higher rate.
Yeah, and this doesn't fix everything. We'll still have humps. We'll still have personalities, but it gives teams the power to correct some of the worst mistakes, and that's something that baseball has needed for decades.
It won't fix Tanner Scott.
Please, we need something that can do that. Go out there and go into the Mookie Betts frame of mind of, hey, my season's over. Whatever happens next follows up.
I didn't even think of this. Maybe Mookie can do it. He already became a shortstop. Maybe Mookie can pitch. Hey, because I'm barely kidding. I am barely kidding. Like, put Mookie out there and put Kike out there. Somebody that at least will give you a chance. Scott's giving you none.
I mean, you already got Michael Conforto on the team, even though he don't do nothing up at the plate. Throw him out there as a relief pitcher. What's the worst that could happen, right? He can't be a worse pitcher than he is a batter.
Michael Conforto is Shohei Ohtani relative to what Tanner Scott's bringing to this team. Like, Conforto's not great, but it's not a 0. It's a 1 out of 10. Scott's a 0 out of 10.
He's a -2 out of 10 right now.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the war.
All right, that'll do it for today's show. If you're still craving more baseball talk, have the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night be your second listen. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find it on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, with Blake Snell taking the mound for the Boys in Blue, trying to get that magic number lower than it currently stands at 3. We appreciate you riding with us. Until next time, keep it real, keep it Dodger Blue.